Welcome to this edition of Community Roundtable. I'm your host, Henry Huang. Today I want to talk about a lighter subject. This month we just had our Chinese New Year, and I always wonder how our Southern Californians celebrate the Chinese New Year. So today in the studio we have two very special guests. Let me just go ahead and introduce them. To my right is Mr. Louie Valdivia and his very lovely wife, Jenny. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Henry.
Louie, I know you are a fan of the Chinese culture, and you probably have better Chinese than we do. So I'm going to go ahead and ask you first, say some Chinese and wish everybody good, happy Chinese New Year.
Well, 祝大家新年快乐，扭转乾坤。
And Jenny?
百福聘真，鸿运到。
Very good, very good. And I noticed that behind you is a Chinese calligraphy. And before the show, we were all talking about everybody are commenting on it. It's a really good. And I know you only been learning it for about a year. Would you like to talk a little bit more about your calligraphy?
Okay, Henry, thank you. Yeah, this was my first piece of calligraphy that I wrote last October when my instructor, Mr. Terry Yuan, gave a calligraphy demonstration at the Taiwan Cultural Center. Mm-hmm. He thought my calligraphy was good enough at that time, so he allowed me to enter this as one of the exhibits. Wow. And the people that came to see the exhibits were very pleased with that, and they were more surprised that a non-Chinese person wrote the characters, and they were even more surprised that I used my left hand to write the characters. Wow. So mm-hmm. that created a lot of interest and curiosity.
Right.
Yeah.
And I know the calligraphy, the meaning is very meaningful. There are some characters that I don't even know how to read until you told me what it is. Would you like to share with the audience?
Okay, the first four characters, 百福聘真, basically means may the 100 blessings rest with you. And the second four characters, 千祥云集, means may 1,000 good fortunes be as numerous as the clouds in the sky. So this is a very lucky 8-character expression for the Chinese New Year because Chinese like good luck.
Right, right.
And blessings and good fortune.
And really, this is really very, very appropriate and very, very good wishes for the Chinese year. And it's also very beautifully written.
Thank you very much.
And I know next to it, usually that's where it's reserved for the author. But it has Chinese character on it. Would you like to talk about that?
Okay, the 3 characters there is my Chinese name, Huang, Lei, Ming, meaning bright thunder, and Huang means like a flood or a vast amount of water, and that's my wife's surname. I adopted her Chinese surname because you don't write your Western name on Chinese calligraphy, so right. It has to be Chinese character, so right. What better than to use my wife's surname? And since she's married to me, she uses my surname, so I think this is a win-win situation for both of us.
A fair trade.
Yeah, a fair trade.
That she has to take your last name, but in Chinese you have to take her last name.
Right.
How do you feel? Is that good, a fair trade?
Yes.
It's a very Okay. Well, our topic today is how Southern Californians spend their Chinese New Year. I know it's not, we don't get days off here, unlike back in Asia where they probably have a week or 2 weeks off. How do you guys celebrate it?
Well, the first day of this New Year, of the Year of the Ox, my wife and I were invited to go to the Tzuji Temple to write the luck. Well, first we went to the New Year's Eve vegetarian dinner, and we ate very good vegetarian food at the temple and enjoyed the show that they put on. And then they asked me to come back the following day on Chinese New Year's and write the lucky sayings on the Chinese red paper to give to the people that come to visit the temple. So my wife and I spent New Year's writing Chinese calligraphy at the temple till the late afternoon.
Wow.
And then later on for nighttime, the whole family got together and we went for a big banquet Chinese dinner and had a good time. Yeah.
I see that we typically modern days people don't cook now that we go out, because I remember old days it's usually we would sit around the table and actually eat our dinner, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So how'd you find it? Did you have fun? How long? This is not your first Chinese New Year, right?
Oh, no. I've celebrated Chinese New Year's for many years, especially ever since I got married to my wife who's Chinese. Mm-hmm. There isn't a Chinese New Year that goes by that we don't celebrate it. And the celebrations include passing out the lucky red envelopes called Huang with money
right.
to our children and to the unmarried friends that come to visit us. Right. We have a lot of oranges and kumquats, which are yellow to symbolize, good luck, gold. Mm-hmm. We don't do any housework on New Year's, like sweeping the floor or cutting meat, because we're superstitious, and we don't say anything unlucky.
Right.
And of course, we wear new clothes and smile and invite our friends and visit friends. It's called Bai Nian. It's going to, visiting friends and relatives and exchanging gifts or giving gifts.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So you are the right person for today's subject today, even though
thank
you may not be born Chinese, but you have practically become one.
I think I'm a Chinese trapped in a white man's body.
You mentioned that there were a lot of costumes in regard to Chinese New Year. Yeah. What are some that you can share? The do's and don'ts.
Well,
like you said, don't say bad things in Chinese New Year Day, giving of the red envelope.
Right.
What other things have you observed, or your wife?
Well, obviously, you don't want to go to the cemetery on New Year's or the hospital or get a ticket by the police. You don't want anything unlucky to spoil the new year. Everything has to be good, lucky and going good for you. There shouldn't be any stress or unhappiness on that day, mm-hmm. because that's the most important day of the year. Is New Year. So if the New Year starts off well, then the rest of the year should continue well.
Right. It sets the tone for the rest of the years.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And I know you're wearing a very traditional Chinese clothing. Is that what you wear?
Yes. This is I got this in China many years ago when we went there on a vacation, and I only wear it on Chinese New Year's. And I started to wear it now when I do the calligraphy, because it kind of puts me in the mood. Uh-huh. Yeah. And I also have a beret, but I didn't want to wear the beret tonight. But the beret, it's a French beret, and it gives you that Frenchman artiste look. But that's
right.
Yeah.
Right. I know we have some taboo against color. Red symbolizes luck. Right?
Yes.
So we when the Chinese New Year, a lot of people were in red.
Right.
I think we try to stay away from the color white, but
right.
here we are wearing suits, so typically we wear white.
Right.
Is there any other special thing you observe when I'm sure before you got into the Chinese culture, was there a lot of shock, or is there any funny stories that you can share?
As far as the New Year...
as far as the New Year, maybe your first time celebrating Chinese New Year, you might think, what's all this fuss about?
Well, the first time was just a learning experience, because I didn't know the Chinese culture and custom, so, you